customization possible as well. So this is what the solution that we have built. The compliance from market perspective, currently the solutions which are present out there, the likes of PwC, EY, Deloitte, they have a lot bigger businesses around compliance. And the solutions that they have are primarily process automation and information aggregation. Whereas future, the market opportunity that we see here with GenAI, GenAI has made it easy to extract information from unstructured documents, and dealing with documents is quite possible now. That is where a lot of opportunities are there. That is where Complies is built. To be very specific, in the current version of its release, Complies helps compliance officers, makes it very easy to work with compliance document. It has features like it automatically gives references across various documents. You can very easily navigate through all compliance documents. It provides explanation. It auto extracts action items from a 100-page compliance document. It automatically extracts checklist from compliance documents. So all of these features are present within Complies application, ultimately making life of a compliance officer very easy. You can ask question, get answers. We'll have a quick 2 minutes demo of same in some time. So that is introduction about market. The problem that we are targeting is making it easy for compliance officers to work with the entire compliance process. The innovation here, there are two parts. One, we have our own fine-tuned Reg LLM model, and we have an application built around it to make the entire process easy. So there are like key features in modern GenAI application, like it is agentic, RAG behind. The data set we have curated, we have applied some innovation to create thousands of question answer pairs data set so that the model is fine-tuned. There is a knowledge graph created. So all these documents, thousands of documents connected with each other. So there is prompt engineering done to the larger extent to create a graph database to make it easy to navigate, and it is extensible. So as I mentioned, the current solutions are focused on aggregation, whereas Complies we have fine-tuned the model. The model is open sourced, where code is proprietary, data is proprietary. It is published under this license. It is available on a Hugging Face. As I said, code is proprietary, data set is proprietary. Yeah, so we have fine-tuned our own model over here at the back end of this solution. Now, what is the purpose of fine-tuning this model? So the crux of this solution is how effectively information is extracted from all the compliance documents. It can very well be done in a quite good way with GPT-4o. But these large organizations are always very much sensitive about having everything private. They would not like to go their internal compliance documents to a SaaS offering like GPT-4o. So this third column is something which is data is Reg LLM, which we have fine-tuned. We allow private deployment. In private deployment, we make it possible with the 8 billion model. So the OpEx is less, overall cost is also less, as well as the accuracy is as good as GPT-4o. So the model is as small as a 8 billion model, accuracy as good as GPT-4o, and this is achieved with the help of fine-tuning with our own curated data set. So one quick example is there, like for example, this task of extracting references from a compliance document. Ideally, there are 3 references here. 1, 2, 3. A GPT-4o would extract 2 references. A Llama 3.18 billion, which is smaller model, does not extract, does not give summary as well. Where our own fine-tuned model extracts 2 references and extracts summary as well. Just to give an example that the accuracy is as good as GPT-4o, and it is possible on a smaller GPU as a private model. So I will hand over to Atharva now. He will give us a quick demo, a quick 2 minutes demo, and we'll continue discussion after that. Atharva, over to you.
Sure, let me share my screen.
It's visible.
Yes. Yes. So I have put the queries beforehand only due to the time crux. So let's see the first query. So we are asking a question like how has the bank rate changed over the years? And the model is able to come up with the answer with the changing bank rate over the years. So this query typically is chosen to show that this is not a naive RAG. So we are doing advanced RAG where we are utilizing the knowledge graph which we have built on the backend, and you can see that it picks up responses from the different documents and gets a proper concise answers with the changing bank rate. So this is the first use case which compliance provides. Then when you put a /compliance command, you get a interactive table. So you can, this is like all the documents that are present in our database. So currently the context is we have selected is the regulator we have selected is RBI. So you will see all the RBI documents here, and you can ask for the documents which are referred by this particular document if it is making any changes to other documents, and also the action items that are there in that document. Right, so let us see one example. So as soon as you do the references, you get a knowledge graph which is interactive. So it shows that this document is referring to some other document. Now you can click on this document and you can open this up and see for yourself, and you can hover over this edge to see in what context does it refer to the other document. So this is the example which Ajit just showed you. Like this is the references use case. Now we can also see if it is making any changes to the previous document. So this is like a interactive knowledge graph again. If you click over the edge, you can see a concise, like these two changes are being made by this document to a previous document. So all this is being done here. Then the third point is the action item. So if you do /action space the circular number, you will get a concise summary of the action items that are present in that circular, right? And then there are large documents which are very useful for an organization like master direction and master circular. So for that, we generate a extensive checklist which is targeted towards the auditor. So this is like chapter wise, you will get a title of that section and also the checklist item that is present in the section. So this is the fourth use case that the compliance targets.
Yes.
And there is also functionality of downloading the checklist in an Excel format.
Your time is up. We'll start
Yes.
Q&A.
Professor
Arnab, would you like to go first?
Right. So I'm just trying to think what is the innovation in this. You have taken an LLM architecture, you have got some data, you have essentially done some fine tuning, if I'm right, or some CPT, continual pre-training, right? So what exactly is the innovation part of your solution?
Right. So no, you are absolutely right. So in order to address the problem in a better, accurate way, we have fine-tuned the model. So there are some domain-specific problem statements out there, meaning extracting actions or there is a 100 pages master circular around IT security that a BFSI organization needs to follow. Now this 100 pages master circular, if they go through manually, right? So it is a process which goes on for multiple weeks, and a BFSI needs to go through that. They need to come up with checklist. So now solving this problem, we have engineered a solution which will make this outcome possible within 10 minutes. So this comes up with an Excel with all the checklist extracted. And this is what the innovation that we are talking about. Now, this is not just engineering. So this is engineering as well, but then in order to improvise on accuracy, so earlier we did, it was giving 80% accuracy. That is where we have fine-tuned model. And for this targeted problem statement, we have curated data as well. So that is what the innovation we are talking about, sir. And this is just one use case. This is about checklist. There are actions. There is navigation. There are multiple such.
Right. So this is very custom built for that particular data, that 100-page document and the particular company, right? So if a new company comes and gives you another 100-page document, how long will it take for you? So your solution will not work off the fly, right? You still have to do some fine tuning and all of that, isn't that?
So Arnab, sir, this is Saurabh here. So let me answer that question. So there are we are trying to target some specific domains and trying to come up with the models which are like specialized for these domains, like a small models. And for every new domain, like so, let's say we go to a new regulator. We have currently RBI and SEBI. So let's say we go to let's say some TRAI. So we need to train a model for that or and like build that model for that. So what we plan to do is like over a period of time, like we want to build these domain specific models which are like small and like cater to the specific customer requirements rather than a artificial general intelligence like GPT-4.
Yeah. One to add, for a given domain, it is generic. Meaning for BFSI, any BFSI can use the same model, same solution. So currently we are deploying it in Aditya Birla Capital. So yeah, so and there are a few more.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Gavin, you're on mute.
Sorry. I request you to please turn on your video once you, if you want to answer to the Julie. Professor Julie, please ask a question.
Thank you. You mentioned that you use synthetic data that was generated by the LLM to help to train the model. So, you know, how can you ensure that that data is high quality and is relevant to the, you know, different regulatory requirements?
Correct. So, so the synthetic data is when it is generated, it is grounded based on the data set. So based on this grounding, right? So this data is generated from a very large state-of-the-art kind of model, like 405 billion parameter model. So the hallucination aspect is taken care by the grounding of this model, grounding of this data. So this is very much akin to dataset augmentation in other kinds of training. So where we add some kind of data which is synthesized. So we are using this technique now to generate more data and augment our data set for the training.
Okay. And you said that your model's accuracy was as good as for 4.0. So how did you benchmark that? What tests did you
So
use?
the benchmarks are in progress right now. So so we would be releasing the version 2 of this model soon. We have released version 1 of the model. So that was based on like backends like Zephyr and Phi, like basically the Llama 2 generation. And now we are upgrading to the Llama 3.1 generation. And like the benchmarking part is to be rigorously done. Yeah, but there will be a manual evaluation process for this. And we are also in connect with these domain experts, like Aditya Birla Group is one of the first customers. So there would be an evaluation done by the domain experts as well. Yes.
Okay.
Just to add to this point, as Saurabh rightly said, the thorough evaluation is in progress. But there is always a user feedback. So we are in pilot with multiple customers already. So manual evaluation case by case is happening. And the thorough evaluation, as Saurabh mentioned, that is also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Arthur, your question.
Yeah, so I have some question first about your business model. It's not clear to me when customers use and need your services. If I understand it correctly, you come to a company which might have some kind of specific regulations. So you train your model, they get their checklists, and then do they still need your services later? I'm just want to understand better whether you can continually get benefits, get profits for a particular company, or you always need to acquire new companies to get further income.
No. So the problem that we are targeting is a process of complying to compliance by regulators. Now, regulators, right? For example, Reserve Bank of India is a regulator from India, or SEBI. So these regulators keep on publishing new rules. They keep on changing these rules as per the conditions surrounding. And within the
And this happens frequently, yeah? Or what is the period?
it is generally frequent. There is always some or other amendment. For example, Reserve Bank of India has published around 12,000 documents in past 15 years. Security Exchange Board of India has total 2,500 documents, notifications published. And there are like 700 other key regulators for any BFSI. It is continuously happening. Plus, there is always a use case that a compliance officer would like to know, like they come across a given case. They want to give a loan of maybe $1 million plus to someone who is related to directors of bank. Now, this is a specific case. The regulators have some say on this. They want to see the regulation, the circular. Then they can search here. They will immediately find it. So that is always an ongoing use case. So that way,
Right. So Professor Arthur, so there are like you might get new use cases from the existing customers, but there is no dearth of new domains and new customers because this is a universal problem statement, right? So the business model will have, or obviously will improvise on what we have, but we'll also go for new domains.
I see. Okay. Matt, another question. So I understand that you have trained or fine-tuned a model based on some open source model. Now, these models like Llama or Gemma from Google are published now every few months, and they are getting more and more powerful. So what is your barrier against competition that maybe somebody else is taking in next year a new, much more powerful base model combines this with retrieval augmented generation, and without even retraining achieves a similar level of performance as your.
Right. So, yeah, that is a real risk. Like I would agree with that. And like we need to continually upgrade, right? So we released this version 1 of the model, but we got an upgradation of the release. So our strategy is to go with the latest available base model and distill it down to a small, very small size model. So although right now we are at like less than 10 billion range in terms of like what fine tuning we are targeting, but we want to go even further down and make it even thinner.
But what about this risk? It's so you are you say
Yeah,
that you are continuously
but there is
improving.
a
This is
cost element also, right? So if you want the on-premise model, and then there is a deployment cost involved. So like 500K is the cost or more than that for running 405 billion model, right? Whereas if you go for a 8 billion, it is like 15K with a Dell workstation. So there is a huge gap in the cost. So we want to go for smaller models, right? So there is a cost element also.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Arthur.